Yeah, good morning, everyone. Sorry for this inconvenience. Uh, we had seen that the US market has bounced back sharply yesterday. This was followed by a comment from the uh, chief of medical advisor FUSI of the US, wherein he had said that the initial indications from the Omicron are of of less impacting or mildly impacting the people, and this has acted as a positive for the market yesterday. Apart from that, futures are also comparatively positive, and Asian markets are also taking trend from that. Apart from that, Fed is likely to meet next week, and what we had seen in these last few days, that Fed is becoming more and more concerned about inflation, and the expectations are that in this December meeting they may increase the tapering from 15 billion to 30 billion, and also talk about the increase in the interest rate uh, possibilities. And before that, even the inflation data, which will be driving all these things, is also expected on the Friday. That is this Friday, and the expectation are that the inflation will increase by 6.8% in US versus 6.2% last month. So inflation is further likely to inch up, and this may further drive the overall expectation on tapering. What we are seeing that the Indian market is consistently underperforming the various other emerging market also, apart from developed market, wherein in last 1 month Nifty is down by around 5.6%, whereas Hong Kong is down by 3.4, Nikkei is 2.9, DAX is down by around 4.8%, US is down by around 0.4%. So the reason being, what we feel is of underperformance is that India was outperforming the emerging market earlier, and in last few months post Q2 result, uh, the im- uh, the impact on the performance of corporates are seen to be having a larger impact, and the another trigger, which is the tapering, which is starting, which is taking money away from the emerging market. Since India was outperforming larger, so the larger the and because of that the valuation increased substantially, and also the near term results expectations are becoming poor, so the larger money is getting out from the Indian market. So that's why what we feel that the Indian market is underperforming as compared to the world other emerging market. Now I'll request technical team to take up from here.
Yes, thank you, sir. Good morning, all of you. This is Fatih. Yesterday, we have seen a drastic fall into the Nifty, with Nifty broke down the important support level of 17,000 psychological mark and just went up to the low of almost around 16,900 level, closed at near the day's low itself, which gave a sign of a cautious sign. But looking towards the global market, today we are likely to open with a gap up, but this gap up opening need to be sustained at the higher level, say at around 17,000 level. So 17,000 will act as a crucial resistance zone. If the Nifty manages to surpass that resistance zone on the closing basis today, then only we can witness some pullback rally towards 17,100 to 17,140 levels on the higher sides. If it's not, then again the selling pressure is likely to be witnessed, which might take a Nifty back towards 16,900 to 16,840 levels on the downsides. So overall view will remain a cautious itself, even though we are getting a gap up opening, but it has to be sustained at the higher level. That is the most important point in the today's session. So we need to keep an eye on the today's closing. Accordingly, we will get the further direction of the trend. Looking towards the bank Nifty, yesterday we have seen that the bank Nifty again touched its 200 DMA and is closed near about at levels, which gives a sign of cautious. Looking towards the technical indicators, I believe today we are likely to get a 36,000 breakout level on the bank nifty. Any more above that level, we expect a positive momentum towards 36,200 to 36,400 levels on the high side. Whereas on downside, 35,800 will be the first support zone. If it's break that level, then 35,600 and 35,400 levels can be seen on the downside. Coming towards the Nifty Finance, this particular indices, the resistance is placed at 17,700. Any move above that level, we expect a positive momentum to be carried forward towards 17,820 to 870 levels. On the flip side, 17,450 will be the first support zone. Below that level, 17,370, 17,300 levels can be seen on the Nifty Finance. That's it from our end. I request with you guys to take a call forward.
Yeah, thank you, Swati. Good morning, everyone. This is Amit Bhuptani. So, as per yesterday's derivative data, we have seen major sell-off from the index-specific front and also the stock-specific front. In yesterday's trading session, almost Nifty came down around 280 points, but the major positive data we are seeing right now is that 17,000 strike is still holding a highest put writer positions as we compare with the next 3-month OI positions. Almost 9.14 million positions are getting holded up at a 17,000 strike of put writer, and in yesterday's trading session also the put writer position got added up at 17,000 strike. Still, the time of put writers are not getting shifted on a downward towards 16,800 and 700 range. Till that point of time, we expect a market to get a reversal again towards 17,100, 17,150 level. Currently, we are seeing that PCRO in yesterday's trading session also came down sharply and gave closing at 0.71 level. So again, we are expecting, as per the OI position and PCR OI, the short covering rally to be seen in coming trading session. Almost around 100 to 150 point short covering might be seen. But the only concern right now we are seeing, as per the derivative front, is India VIX. India VIX is continuously trading on a higher level. So till the time India VIX is not getting settled or getting sustained below 16.5 level, till that point of time, volatility would be very high in the market. So hold your long positions and trade your long positions with the strict stop losses. As per the sectoral specific and stock specific, we are expecting auto, cement, and IT counter looks a bit negative and might holding the strong support and might see some recovery in today's trading session in this three counter. Thank you.
Good morning. The institutional team met a couple of freight operators in Maharashtra, and the feedback is that the demand on the freight side, especially for from sectors like chemical, pharma, and textile, is robust, and operators are looking at expanding their fleets. So positive for commercial vehicles. And even post Diwali, demand for freight remains strong. Ujjivan Small Finance Bank has appointed Itira Davis as the new MD and CEO for a period of 3 years. This is after Nitin Chugh, the previous MD, had resigned, and in the interim period there was no full-time CEO running the bank. So this is sentimentally positive. Itira Davis was already working for Ujjivan since 2015. Earlier, he was the CEO till 2018, and after that, he was the MD and CEO of the holding company. HFCL has launched its QIP and at a floor price of 72 rupees. So that should act as a strong support level, and as it is, company is doing well on the business front. So net positive for HFCL. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. Yesterday, GHCL has announced that they are divesting their home textile business to Indocount for consideration of around 596 crores, which includes the sale and transfer of home textile business. Which includes the sale and transfer of home textile business for 539, and 37 crores would be towards inventory and brands. And 20 crore towards the realization their own account. So this is positive for GHCL because they were earlier had announced that they would be demerging home textile business and chemical business separately. Now with this divestment, they would get the funds to flourish their chemical business, and also they are demerging in their spinning division into a different company, which would be called as GHCL Textiles. This is to bring more focus on two separate line of the businesses, and this would be in the ratio of 1:1. So overall, this deal is very positive. The company is arranging a con call out around 12 o'clock. So we would get more details about this. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. Rate Gain Travel Technologies is IPO is opening today, and the issue price is rupees 425 and 405. The issue consists of fresh issue of rupees 375 crore and offer for sale of rupees 961 crore. It is amongst the leading distribution technology companies globally, and is the largest SaaS company, and catering towards majorly in the hospitality and the travel industry in India. Uh, Excluding the FY21, since it was an impacted year, taking FY20 into consideration, the revenue for the company stood at rupees 398 crore, which was majorly driven. The growth was majorly driven due to acquisition which the company had done in 2019 and 2020. That is Dishko and BCV Social. The core business of DAS in 2020 degrew by 3% in FY20. This indicates that the company's majority of the growth is supported by acquisition. And since these acquisitions are loss making, it has impacted the profitability of the company. Going ahead, since majority of the growth has been supported by acquisition, turnaround of this acquisition, making it profitable and growing organically, creates uncertainty. At the upper price band of rupees 425, Rate Gain is offered at EV by sales of 14.8 times annualized sales for the period of August 21, which we feel is expensive. We recommend and avoid to the issue. Thank you.
Yeah,
There is
but
sorry, sir.
yeah.
There's just one update. We had a meeting with the Galaxy Surfactants yesterday. So this time the results were little bad because of the margins got impacted. The main reason was that the raw material prices have gone up, and also the supply side issues they have faced for the materials which they used to source from Southeast Asian countries. And this all impacted their their raw material cost, and which is leading to the impact on the profitability. Going forward, the company said that yet all these factors are yet to stabilize. However, they are seeing some stabilization in the logistic cost and the freight cost, but we believe that all these things would take another quarter to normalize, and we can see some improvement in Q4. However, Q3 should be better than Q2, and we believe that Q2 has bottomed out from here. Their overall demand per se, management is very confident, and they say it is on track. That is why the capex is also on track, and the Jagadia, which is one of their place where they have the facilities, which they are also doing the capex of, would be coming in Q3, that is the current quarter ongoing, and the Tarapur, another facility, would come in Q4. This would all add to their volume growth in next year. For this year also, the company has maintained their volume growth of 6 to 8%, and which was kind of muted in first half. And also the EBITDA per ton, that is what the company measures their profitability. They have given the guidance of 16 to 18,000 per metric ton, which was around 15,000 in first half. So we believe that second half would be much better than the first half, and overall the company remains on track. Thank you.
Yeah, apart from that, Tata Steel has reduced the rebar price by around 1,500 rupees. We feel this is more of a neutral, as JSW Steel earlier has already reduced flat steel prices by 2,500 and long steel by around 1,500. This is more of a continuation of what has done by the JSW, by the Tata Steel now. So will not have any impact on the share market price because of this event. Apart from that, Tanla Solution, which is a CPaaS company, that is whatever the OTP and all we get, that is coming through their platform. So CPaaS company has announced JV with has announced launch of their product, that is Wisely, and they are first launching it on along with VI, that is Vodafone India. So this launch was quite awaited by the company, and this is a composite platform which has been developed along with Microsoft by the Tanla, and the Tanla being more focused on Indian market and were looking to expand into international market through this platform. So this, they are launching it into India now, and the key thing to watch is that how they are taking all these platforms to the international market. So overall, last quarter result of Tanla was quite surprising and very good, and we had seen prices as run up from around 900 level to almost around 1500 levels post these results, and now the stock is trading somewhere around 30 times FY 23 earning as compared to as compared to the industry of around 40 times. So there is still some scope, but the key thing will be watched is how this platform is successful and is taking into international market. So overall outlook or direction wise, Tanla looks comparatively positive. So that's all from us. Thank you very much and have a great day.
Subscribe to our YouTube channel for in-depth interviews of India Inc. and press the bell icon so that you do not miss our updates.